some of the manufacturers are getting into EV. I don't know where you guys stand.
We have a full electric, and we have an electric with a backup diesel generator. We've had a lot of interest in New Jersey. We've sold some across the country, so they're actually out there being tested. But New Jersey's going to be tough. We really don't have a lot of the infrastructure.
Yeah, that's true.
It's going to have its place. I don't know when. In New Jersey, who'll be the first. We're embracing it. You want to buy one? We'll sell it to you. You want to buy a purple fire truck? I'll sell you a purple fire truck.
Sell you whatever you want.
You got the bucks, we got the trucks. That's what I always say.
Hey, welcome to this week's episode of 1075 Chatter. I'm here today with Tony Amoroso. Tony's the president, CEO here of Absolute Fire Protection. Welcome, Tony. Nice to have you.
Thanks for having me.
So we look forward to, I got some questions for you.
Oh, boy.
Not hard ones. Don't worry. You can pass the test. It'll be all right. So Tony's based out of, where are you guys out of?
South Plainfield.
South Plainfield, New Jersey. They are the E1 rep for the state of New Jersey.
For 14 counties in New Jersey.
Oh, 14 counties. Okay.
14 counties covered down to the end of Ocean County.
Okay. So if you're looking for an E1 in New Jersey, reach out to Tony. Tony, I got a couple questions for you. I guess my first question is, you're still active as a volunteer firefighter, correct?
I am. I'm still the chief engineer of Relief Fire Company number 4 in Bound Brook. Been there since '95, and actually started my career across the river there in South Bound Brook in 1986.
Okay.
And I also am the vice president and the head trustee, so I'm quite busy there.
So you're still involved in the volunteer fire service. You've been for a long time.
Very well vested in the fire service.
Exactly. And I was going to ask you this question because I know you've been involved in the fire service. And I know a lot of guys that are in the fire service that you got to really be in the fire service to be in this kind of industry.
Absolutely.
To really understand it. But there's a couple companies out there, the guy's like, oh yeah, I'm a firefighter. And then you look at their history and they were a firefighter for 5 years. The last 25 years they haven't been a firefighter, and they still hold on to that. Like, I don't know, it's a weird thing to say, hey, I'm a firefighter, and you haven't done firefighting in 20 years. I mean, you probably went through the old Fire One program like I did.
Oh yeah, I went through the fire school in '86, and I actually helped out at the fire school before I could actually go to fire school with my dad, because my dad was an instructor.
Okay.
And I'm still an instructor at Somerset County. So
you're still really involved.
I'm still really involved. I see the change in the fire service. I see the change in the audience that we have for students and those people you were talking about that say they're still firemen. We call them T-shirt firemen. They've been there. They're there for the T-shirt.
And listen, I get it. You want to be, you want to say you were part of an organization, but when you're in the business of doing stuff with firefighters, it's, I don't know, it kind of cheapens it to say, oh, I'm a firefighter when you haven't done anything in a fire service in 20 years. I mean, I'm not going to get into specifics on who I'm speaking about, but I know you know people as well as I do in the industry that say that all the time, and it's almost frustrating because I've been doing this for 33 years as an active volunteer, and you've got about 40 years of being a volunteer, and it's like, I don't know, it cheapens it for everybody else, I think, when people do that.
It does. I was actually up at a fire alarm this morning at 4:30 for an activated fire alarm, and I'm looking, at I am responding, and I'm like, 1, 2, 3, 4 people. Great. This is going to be a good call.
That's about, you're down south, I'm up north, and we have the same issue.
Same problem everywhere.
It's the same problem. It's, as you said, as an instructor, you see the dynamics changing, and the whole fire service, I think, is changing. Unfortunately, I think we're going to be a career here sooner than later. I mean, the volunteers it's hard to get people to volunteer nowadays, and I think a lot of it has to do with the training and the amount of training. I mean, when I went through, I want to say it was roughly 80 hours.
Now you could be in the area of 180 hours.
Yeah.
And
7 months.
The problem is a lot of people are working two jobs, right?
Yep.
Maybe 3 jobs, try and make ends meet today. So I can't fault them. The kids give you whatever they can, but they're not built the same as you and I way back when.
No, yeah, used to work 2 jobs and still run the fire calls, get no sleep.
Go home, take a shower, and go right to work, call the boss, say, hey, I'm just going to take a quick shower, I'll be on my way in.
I'm running a few minutes late, but I'll be there.
Now it's like, I got to take the day off because I was at a fire last night. Like,
or
seriously?
how about this one? We had a fire, and the guy's like, oh, I couldn't come out, I had to work in the morning. I'm like, dude, we haven't had a fire in, like, ages. Like, all of a sudden, you're gonna miss one, like
You're gonna miss a work at fire.
Yeah, you're gonna miss a work at fire. You come
I
out.
mean, normally that's when everybody comes out, right? You look at Iron Responding, and
Yeah.
it's like you got pages and pages of people.
Yeah,
but
guys
yeah,
that you didn't even know were still active. You're like, oh,
absolutely,
they're coming out. Yeah.
yeah.
So they come out of the woodwork for work on fire. But it's funny because like some of these young guys are like, oh, I had to get up in the morning, and I said, I get it. I get up in the morning too. You get up in the morning too, and you're running a business.
Absolutely.
Right. So you got meetings. You got to be at places. There's days you want to shut it down, and you're like, oh, you were at 4:30 this morning. Last thing you want to do is come here at this time of day, and I get it. And,
right. Didn't even go back to sleep. Started with emails. I mean, you're going to do what you're going to do.
I've been there.
So I mean, it's tough. Just like trying to take a vacation. Try and take a vacation. My phone rings all the time.
Yeah, I mean it's part of the business,
It
especially
is.
owning a business.
If you're in our business today, you have to be involved, and nothing's on autopilot.
Oh no, I know. So and the whole industry has changed. Pre-COVID, post-COVID,
Yeah,
waiting
absolutely.
forever for fire apparatus, and that's kind of what I want to talk to you about today. Is like, I saw your program says that you have vehicles available for 2025 delivery. So let's get into that a little bit because I mean most people are looking. If you're buying today, it's what 26 to 27.
26. Some people are quoting 24, 27 months. Some are 36. Some are 48. But luckily, my sales manager Chris and I sat down. He put together a spec of our most popular options, and what we did is we ordered some rigs. Last demo we ordered was 2001. We ordered a demo.
Okay.
Okay, and it took us a few years to sell it. We had to do a lot of work to it. We actually sent it back to the factory to have a CAF system put in it, this and that. So we really shied away from it until this past few years with the changes in COVID, supply chain issues that we've had.
Labor issues that the
And now we have
manufacturer
labor
having.
issues with, trying to get enough help in there to get it
Yeah.
done. But we did take advantage of the stock program. We're very smart about it because we obviously don't want to overload the system. We don't want to overload ourselves, tax us. But what Chris has done for us right now, we basically have all the trucks are sold before they even start on the line, which is great.
But at least you got them. They're in the pipeline, right? So
Right,
you're
so
in the
we can make-
pipeline already.
we
and
can
you can
make
make some
changes.
changes.
Right, like Jersey City came to us and said, listen, we need couple more rigs. So we grabbed 2 of our production slots. We talked to management down at E1. They allowed us to flip those 2 spots to Jersey City specs, and we pushed out the ones we were buying for Jersey City back to our stock specs. And
Gotcha.
we had
So you're buying slots is really what you're getting.
pretty much. I mean, we try and build out what we want. We try not to switch it too much. Our our good customer base that we gets in a jam, our cities, we try and do that to help them out.
Yeah, because they could literally lose an apparatus in an accident.
Absolutely.
Something happens to
Something,
it,
anything.
and it's down and it's not repairable. And then what do you
Right.
do? I mean, a lot of these cities can't live without.
They're in a jam, so we would end up renting them a vehicle, finding a vehicle that maybe we might be taking it on trade, swap it out, things like that.
Yeah, just to get them through until.
Yep. So we branched out from pumpers. Now we're into aerials. So we have mid mounts in for stock. We have rear mount towers, straight ladders. So luckily, my sales team's been doing pretty good.
Yeah, and I really have been. I like the E1. I like that single axle.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yep. We just sold.
What's that? The Metro? Is that the Metro?
Metro 100.
Yeah, the Metro 100. That's nice. I like that. I've always liked the single axle. I know it's not as heavy duty as a dual axle, but I mean, how much stuff are you carrying?
Still basically the same ladder. Try not to overload the compartments, obviously, right? But it works great for the reduced manpower that we have. You get one rig out, so you got an engine and a ladder.
Yep.
It can do multitude of things.
Yeah, it's set up as a quint, right?
Absolutely. Set up as a quint and it can go. It's got your
I
ladder,
just-
it's got your water.
I just saw you just posted one that you're working on. I guess it's a 100. It's a
HR 100 for Baskin Ridge.
Basking Ridge. Yeah. So
But I mean, you have to be in the right place at the right time to help the customers. They just happen to get their money approved. And I happen to have one that got moved up in the schedule. And E1's like, okay, we're moving that truck up. And I'm like, wow,
Perfect.
okay. So called the chief and he goes, yeah, we're going to be getting our money. So he goes, this is the weirdest purchase that we've ever done. I think we met on their spec a year ago to get their ideas down.
yep.
We never had a meeting on this truck.
Oh, really?
Just talked over the phone and email. They came down once and looked at North Plainfield because this is a twin to the North Plainfield truck. So they came down and looked at it. Yeah, perfect. Just what we're looking for. We want to do this, and
So
this.
you replicated the spec because it's a popular.
We just
spec
keep
for you.
ordering the same spec.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, if the spec sells and the spec works, we do it with a couple.
Don't fix it.
Right. We just tweak
It's not
it.
broken. Don't fix
You know,
it.
sort of like you. Try and streamline things, get it going, it gets through. You know, and if the customer's happy with it, they could work with it, then we use it.
Yeah. No. The other one I liked is that pagoda. That pagoda.
Pagoda's ladder is sweet.
That is a
It's-
sweet looking piece.
They put a lot of time, work into it with our salesman, Mike Thomasy, and did a great job with it. And, you know, Pagoda is a longtime E1 customer with their ladder. They love their.
Yeah. Well, they just bought an engine too, not too long ago, right?
They got their engine, yeah. They got
Was
an
that
engine
company
too.
2 or something? They
I
have?
think it was.
Yeah, they have an engine.
So
I follow what's going on.
hey,
You know,
glad
so.
you have time to do that. You know, we have a
I do
lot
that
of
at 5:00 in the morning.
exactly. You know, we have a lot of people that are actually we track some of the analytics, and it's a lot of the time there's weird times when some of these people are doing that stuff.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We do the same stuff, and I'm an old school, pen and paper kind of guy. And so computers for me are, so we have. That's what our marketing team does is they track analytics and stuff like that because it's all about analytics nowadays. I mean,
It is. That's the way the world's going.
So.
Just like our, we just delivered our first truck that's got the computerized SAM pump system on it. So there's no valve controls on the pump panel.
Yeah, so I saw a Sam. It was a different manufacturer, but I saw a Sam locally. They have
Yeah.
one. It looks like an iPad on a pump panel, pretty much.
It's the way it's going. Everybody wants to be, techie, right? Kids all want to be on their phone.
So that was my question for you. Where is it going? Are we going full tech? I mean, are you going to be able to get out of the engine or the ladder one day and be able to put your stick up from your phone? Or I mean, is that where we're going?
It seems to be.
Seems
I
to
mean,
be.
right now we do have a controller that's wireless from the truck, sort of like when the guy's delivering sheetrock.
Yep.
We have that type of controller, so you can get out and run the truck wirelessly, which is good and bad. I mean, it's a heavy expense,
Yeah.
but you don't have to worry about wires. If you got heavy obstructions, the person could be away from the vehicle looking at it. But are we going that way? I don't know. You see some of this stuff coming from overseas where you have these robots, right? The fire robots with
Yep.
the hoses connected to them
Yep.
that are going in, putting the fire out, and they have the thermal imager and the cameras on them.
Yeah. Guy controlling it. Yeah.
I don't know which way it's going. You got one person back at the control center.
Yeah.
Is
It's interesting.
Is it sort of like the way the drones are for the military?
Well, now they got the drones down the Jersey Shore. They got the ones that'll drop the
Yeah.
flotation device to somebody in
Right.
distress.
I just saw that.
It's getting the technology is just getting better and better. I mean, I remember I had pull up boots and rode in an open cab when I started. I mean,
In fact,
it was,
somebody was just in my shop yesterday. One of the new guys we hired comes in. He goes, "Are those the boots you used to wear?" I'm like, "Yeah, we used to wear that and a 40-inch coat."
yeah, you used to come all the way down and
And
you used to crawl around. You used to crawl around on your jacket. I mean, it was
Yeah. He goes, "That looks uncomfortable." I said, "Actually, it was pretty good."
you stayed nice and cool in the
said,
summer.
Yeah. So I said, but times have changed. We can't wear 3/4 boots anymore. But it was the day. When
Yeah.
you're riding the back step,
Yep.
you jump on the back step and you call out, I need a 9. You throw your pair of boots.
Yep.
I need a coat. Need a helmet. And you're
Yep.
getting dressed and you're
Getting
holding
dressed
on
up,
to everybody
yep.
as you're going down the road.
Oh yeah, those are the good old days of firefighting. I mean, but it's changed a lot, and it just seems like it's just changing more. I mean, now some of the manufacturers are getting into EV. I don't know where you guys stand in EV.
We are.
in the
We
market.
have a full electric, and we have an electric with a backup generator, diesel generator.
So like a train, more like a train.
Train, similar to a train,
That's-
but we've had a lot of interest in New Jersey. We've sold some across the country, so they're actually out there being tested. But New Jersey's going to be tough. We really don't have a lot of the infrastructure, and
Yeah, that's true.
and maybe for a couple of our smaller cities, but I don't know if the bigger cities would be able to do it. Number one, they'd have to have the backup. They wouldn't be able to go full electric because a lot of the times the trucks never see the firehouse.
No, and-
or if
and-
they do, it's very limited time, and there'd be a lot of short charging.
Yeah, and then I mean, we've had some recent fires where they've been out 12, 14, 16 hours working a fire
So you would
scene.
need to get
So you'd either have to pull them off the line and start replacing equipment, or you'd have to go with something that has a generator.
right. But You know, I mean, I do like our design. You know, I've driven in it. It's pretty impressive. We flowed water. So it's going to have its place. I don't know when, you know, in New Jersey, who'll be the first. But
Firefighters are like dinosaurs too, right? I mean, change. They don't like firefighters. Don't like change. Oh, we went from leather helmets to.
so I'm saying, trying to take somebody out of a leather helmet,
Whoa.
put them into a plastic helmet. You want to talk about a fight?
Yeah.
Or how about rubber boots, you know, going to leather boots?
Yep.
You know, so.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to try and convince people. Hey, this is change for the better. You know, even with the SAM system, a lot of the older guys are probably like, I don't want to deal with that. What if that computer goes down? What am I going to do?
Talking to my partner Sal in service, he goes, "Oh my God, this great, Sal, it's what they wanted. It's you got to embrace technology. You cannot if you don't embrace technology, it's gonna blow past you.
They're going to push you out the door because what'll happen is they'll go to somebody else that's willing to put that in.
Yeah.
And you're going to lose the sale because you didn't want to embrace the technology that there's a lot of younger people in the fire service now. They're big on tech and that's what they want. They want to be able to control the pump panel from an iPad type device.
So now we just gotta keep up with it and see what maintenance it is and how it works. I mean, they have a few in the field that they say seem to be pretty good. I mean, we saw it operate at the show, saw it outside some of the hot sessions, outside the FDIC. We're embracing it. You want to buy one? We'll sell it to you. You want to buy a purple fire truck? I'll sell you a purple fire truck.
I'll sell you whatever you want.
Right? You got the bucks, we got the trucks. That's what I always say.
And you guys seem to have the trucks. I mean, everybody else is quoting a lot longer wait times than you are for apparatus. So
yeah, luckily our build times are not as long as somebody else's. And if you take advantage of our stock program, our retail program,
even better.
Helps us out and helps you out.
Even better. So I just saw on your website too. You did a video of a 1983.
1983
That's
that
still
Monroe originally had.
Okay.
And they ended up buying it back, so they can have it.
So they can have it as a piece in their collection.
Which is pretty ironic because that's the year that Absolute started selling E1. We didn't deliver that truck; it was delivered by the previous dealer. But it's when we signed up.
Okay.
To be a dealer, so it's pretty cool. It's an '83.
It's an '83.
Old school, open cab, with the gates on it. It's got the motor with that nice, thunderous sound on the exhaust.
Yeah, before all the emissions controls now that we have and
all the electronics. Yeah. But I mean, it's in beautiful shape. And good for Monroe to be able to get it back.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You have a piece of your history. I mean, if you can get it back and keep it, it's great. It's a sharp look, and because it's not like a standard fire truck from the 80s.
It's definitely old school.
It's got some sharp angles on it. It's pretty cool. So
looks like a new Tesla truck.
It does look. It does have that Tesla look to it. Yeah. I passed a Cybertruck yesterday on the road. I was like, oh my goodness. I was down your way.
Yeah, we got a few down there.
Yeah, it's the big bucks down in your area.
Yeah, no, more like up here.
I was down in Neptune yesterday, so just coming back through. So
that's good.
So
yeah,
I gotta go down there tomorrow. So I may have to stop and see you tomorrow on the way home. Come visit you. You gonna be at the office?
Might be the southern office, but we'll see.
Southern office.
Depends on what's going on.
All right. Yeah.
We got a lot going on. You never know where I'll be.
Oh, I know. Running a company, you never.
Phone rings. You got to go somewhere.
I know.
I could be driving a truck tomorrow. You never know.
Whatever. Delivering something, right?
Whatever has to be done.
I hear you. Oh, I know that feeling. So technology's taken us so far, but I mean, where do you see like the future of the fire service as far as like? I mean, you talked about the robotic firefighters. I mean, where do you see us going? I mean, in the industry, you've been in the industry a long, long time. The talk is always EV, and like you said, the infrastructure is not here for EV yet, especially for a lot of these cities. I mean, you go out west, it seems the EVs are a little bit more prominent out there.
Right, they were developed on their electrical systems, right? Were developed later on, so they have more capacity. Here in the Northeast, we're so far behind. I mean, we get brownouts. We get people, they want, public service wants they want to be able to control your thermostat, turn your thermostat up, for air conditioning, conserve power. Start getting everybody plugging in all their EV cars. You're going to plug in an EV truck, they have to bring in the power, number one. It's an expense to bring that in. But
they have to upgrade the whole grid has to be upgraded throughout the state.
It's going to come sooner or later. Who's going to be the first? I don't know.
And it's going to be expensive. Just for the state alone to upgrade everything as far as the grid, it's going to be it's going to be, you know,
It's going to be
billions
Yeah,
of dollars.
So I do see us going electric, but I don't know when. But you never know what's going to happen. You know, come November, that whole EV thing may be out the window. So who knows?
Yeah, it's true.
But as of right now, we still have it.
And then of course, I mean, I remember the conversation. Oh, they're going with fire trucks that have DEF in them. Oh, we're never going to get that. They're going to keep the old school, right? I mean, how many, again, back to the old school firefighters. They, you know, I love the rumble of the. Listen, I get it, but you know,
Unfortunately,
we lost out on that one, right?
The emissions took over on that, and now we're going to have new emissions coming out in 27. So the canisters are going to get bigger, more filtration. But just trying to get everybody to learn this stuff. We're still struggling with that with some people. They don't realize that you can't let it go all the way down. You know, that it goes down too low.
It goes into mode.
Deration, you know. And then we also have, you know, with the engine, doesn't like to just start and stop. It really wants to run because it's designed for over the road.
Yeah.
So we need to heat it up, right, to get the DEF system to work.
Yeah, that's why the high idles now and all that stuff. Yeah.
We want to keep air flowing. So you got to keep the high idle, you got to keep it flowing, want to keep the filters clean because your filter gets clogged up, becomes another problem.
Yeah, and in my town, I mean, we're not a huge town. You know, it's maybe 7-8 minutes to the call, 7-8 minutes back to the firehouse, put it away. You know, we're killing the DEF systems on those things because, like you said, you know, really needs to sit there and idle for a while.
And then doing the regens. I mean, the people not wanting to do the regen keep pushing the button, you know, to inhibit doing it. You can only do that so many times before that gets it in limp mode.
Yep.
But people don't realize it's all recorded, so they know when you push the button, and then if it happens to be a career department, you know who was on duty.
Yeah.
But we tell a customer, take it for a run on the highway. I have one customer that, like, every Sunday, they send their rigs. They go for a run. They heat them up. They go out on 78, run it, heat it up, come back, and it's been working very good to keep the filter clean.
Yeah, we do that on 287 every so often with ours. We have to do something. We don't do it every week, but you have to do something. I mean,
but you know, like you said, technology is changing. This new 27 motor is going to be very interesting. We're just starting to get some specifics on it, but
yeah, and I know that's been a crunch because a lot of guys are trying to order now to beat that 27 deadline.
Right.
And some of the manufacturers are saying we may not get you until
you're
you're at the cusp.
There's that
now.
line, right? There's that line, and you might fall over. And if you fall over, it may cost you a little extra money.
And you might not get exactly what you want because
the design may change because the motor size. So our engineering.
People are panicking about that because, unfortunately, the manufacturers have no control over the motors, right? So because they're buying, you know, Cummins, Detroit. You know, they're buying from companies that make motors. They don't make their own motors.
Actually, pretty much only really have one choice, and that's Cummins.
Cummins, yeah.
You know, Cummins has the market. So I mean, it's Cummins or it's Cummins for us. You know, and making sure that we have, you know, the right ratios for our aerials. We have to make sure that we have the right ratio for all the trucks. Make sure you're not overloading that front axle because is the motor going to be heavier now? We don't know. You know, like that single axle truck, they moved it up, so we made sure that we got that motor. So I didn't have to worry about the new motor.
You don't have to worry about weight. Because that's weight issues then,
because we don't know how that's going to impact that design down the road.
Yeah, I mean, I know the biggest issue we've had, you know, we're in our first, like, 3 vehicles with DEF, or 3 apparatus with DEF, and, you know, I think we carry 5 gallons of DEF on. Like, it just seems like sometimes you go to a call and you're like, didn't we just fill this DEF, you know, depending on the time of year, temperature, and stuff like that. It just seems like there's times, I mean, we've been out at fire calls, and, you know, we went down to a mutual aid fire. It was one of those where we took a shift, and near the end of the shift, they came in, they refilled us with DEF because we were almost out. I mean, you know, it's something that you don't think about, and I think every fire manufacturer in the beginning was putting a 5-gallon DEF tank in just to CYA,
5-6
right?
gallon, right,
you know?
just so we had it.
Yeah, it wasn't much, and I don't know if they got any bigger. I mean, there's no
normally we're around 6. We have a few that maybe get a little bigger, but
there's no room.
Right. Because that's the other problem. It impacts everything else.
Yeah, you're putting 100 pounds in a 25-pound bag.
You know, we try and keep it as close to the motor so you don't have to run heater lines as far because it's got to stay warm.
Otherwise, it gels.
It gels up, it clogs up, crystallizes. Then we end up with a problem with that. But it's roughly 3 gallons of diesel to 1 DEF. It's a rough average.
Yeah,
but
depends on temperature. Every time of year,
everything.
Yeah.
So we tell people to keep, try and keep your tank at least half. refill it at half so the gauge moves a little bit, right?
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to keep it. You don't want to be that guy that keeps the gauge pinned on full all the time.
Yeah, we don't do that either. But we lucked out because we were using the 55-gallon drum at the firehouse because we were the only ones on DEF. Now that the Public Works has a couple trucks with DEF, they put an actual DEF pump in, so it's been a lot
Right,
easier because
that's great.
that stuff makes a mess.
When you spill it, oh boy, it crystallizes.
It
It doesn't like
crystallizes.
diamond plate at all.
Yeah, and it sticks
It
to
makes a
everything.
mess. I tell our
Sticky.
guys to rinse the truck down, get it wet before you do it in case you spill it. We
Sort of
still
slap.
put cardboard down.
Yeah.
Our old captain made up a funnel so we can get it in a funnel easier. You know, so you're not with the hose.
Yeah, because they don't make it easy, especially when you gotta pour it. Now that we have
Right.
a pump, it's so much
It's
so
great.
much easier.
Yeah, we carried a 2.5-gallon one. Just the DEF.
We have
to
the same
fill.
one. We keep a spare up top. God forbid we need it. We
I
have
don't even
at least
keep it
that.
on the truck anymore. It's just keep it in the firehouse. We tend to keep it pretty good. Our guys are pretty good. They got it down. Weekly checks. They keep everything
Yeah,
in check.
we're pretty good about it too. I mean, it's just another thing you got to check, right?
Absolutely.
These we got fuel, yeah. We got DEF, yeah. We got this, we got that. We go through our air pack checks. We, run all our tools. So it's just part of the process now. But it did take in the beginning. Some of the older guys, this is stupid. Why'd they put this on fire trucks? And we'd hear it from the older guys, and I'm like, hey, listen,
It's out of our control.
yeah, we used to run gas. When I joined. We still had one gas motor in the firehouse because that was before diesels were popular. I mean,
Yeah.
so it's like they didn't complain about that when they switched from gas to diesel. It is what it is.
Absolutely. And I tell everybody, you have to embrace technology, right? So we started putting out fires with buckets, right? We came a long way from buckets.
We have.
Okay.
We have. Yeah.
Want the horse drawn, hand drawn, whatever. But it's just amazing if you look at the whole evolution of the fire service, where it's going. Who knows where it's going to end? Is George Jetson actually going to come to life someday?
Maybe you'd be flying out just over the top and just drop the water on and go home.
We're gonna do like the forestry does, go out, suck the water, and dump it in.
Who knows?
I don't know which way it's going to go, but at least in the Northeast, we tend to be aggressive. We tend to go in and get it. So,
Yeah, we are very aggressive here. I mean, that is the one thing I noticed, and I will say in the years I've noticed definitely the gear has gotten a little bit makes you a little braver, I think, because you don't feel like, I mean, after I went through, when you used to wear rubber boots, you feel that heat on your legs, and you were like, oh man, I got to think about starting to figure
now
out.
that you got hoods on too, right? The hood technology. You used to wait
don't
until
even know
your
how
ears
hot
got
it is.
warm,
Yep.
right?
When your ears were burning, it was time to go. That was the old school way.
I mean, we have our guys that are doing the instructors at the fire academy that are doing the burns in our flashover simulator, our Phase 5. Some of them are wearing 2 hoods. It's that hot in there for when they're in there constantly running the students through, right? You really don't know how hot it is.
No,
at all.
because they used to say, oh, once your earlobes got hot, it was time to get out. That was
Right.
the old
now-
indicator.
So now we have to, they have to wipe their mask, to keep the mask from bubbling up, and when your bottle gets hot, that the air in the bottle's hot.
Yeah, when you start sucking hot air, you're
it's time to get out.
yeah.
So right now we could be getting ourselves in some trouble with some of these guys getting in too deep or in too hot. You don't know. Like you said,
Technology's made it, great things, but sometimes it does make you.
and that's where training comes in.
Oh,
You got to
absolutely.
know your training.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, we got a bunch of young guys. I mean, I think about what we have in our firehouse, and I'm like, there's probably 5 or 6 guys that have never even been in a structure fire, and I'm like, and we only have
there's always
25
that.
guys.
There's
that are
always
active.
that. Yep.
It's and you always think about it, it's like, oh man, I hope they're going to be okay. Like, because you don't know. I mean, you go through fire school, it's controlled, right? It's a controlled environment.
Absolutely.
As much as,
Try and make it as realistic as possible.
but you still know it's a controlled environment.
Absolutely.
And, it's not the same as, you're hopping off the apparatus, you're trying to wrap a hydrant, you're trying to do all this along the way. And it's funny because, you try and teach guys that, and they're like, it's almost like if it's not on their phone to tell them how to do it,
Oh yeah,
they're lost.
they forget.
Yeah, we have a couple guys that, you show them everything on a drill night, and then a couple weeks later you're like, hey, let's practice. They're like, how's that? What do we do again? I'm like, it's not that hard.
Try and start a saw. It's very hard for some people.
We're gonna have to go to electric starts on saws sooner than later.
We are doing battery saws now too. Don't forget.
Yeah, we have a couple of them in our repertoire. So they're nice. I mean, they're nice and easy. They're convenient, but again, you're getting away from the.
It's not my first choice, but yeah,
Yeah.
they are out there. And again, we got to embrace it, right?
Yeah, we have a little bit of everything. We have a mix. So we have a couple of smaller electric saws, but we do have we still have the K12. We still have,
Oh yeah, no, everybody's still got the gas motors, but they're slowly starting to disappear.
Yeah,
We're
'cause-
getting battery-operated hydraulic tools, right?
Yeah, I mean, we used to had hydraulics was hydraulics. You used to have the lines running off the apparatus. Now everything's battery powered. It's just another step.
Even some of the tools you're using to build some of the rigs, everybody's got batteries, right?
Oh yeah, we're going
No cords anywhere.
There's no cords. Air tools are becoming a thing of the past because
Right, absolutely.
because of maintenance on air tools, right? I mean, you
The
gotta,
compressor alone.
yeah, compressors, and you worry about oil, and you got to it's
Yeah, everything's battery. Everything's battery.
yeah, because what happens when a battery goes bad? They get rid of it, they get a new battery.
Yeah. So
Right.
you're either buying the red brand, the Teal Grand, or the
Yeah, whatever
white green,
your favorite, whatever
brand.
favorite brand is. Yeah,
So it's, it's interesting.
yeah,
It's definitely changing. Just sitting back watching everything, it's like, wow. If you really sit down and think about change really is coming.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And it's funny because Monday nights we drill on our Monday nights. It's at the firehouse, and we have this big table. And the one day we were all sitting there, and the chief goes, "Look at the table." And all the young guys were like this,
Yep, absolutely.
and all the old guys were sitting there BSing, and it was like you could see the difference. Like the young guys are they're into their phones, they're into their their social media. They got to check their social media. They got to do this. They got that. Listen, I get it. It's just the conversation at the firehouse table. This the BSing. I mean, you almost need to have a sign. Hey, no phones allowed over here.
Right, or have a box or something.
Yeah.
Everybody slides their phone in the box.
Yeah. Let's have 45 minutes of let's
Yeah.
throw the phones away. But
That very rarely happens.
no, it's
So and I said we're going to go from the older guys, right, needing hip replacements and knee replacements, to these kids are going to need their thumbs replaced
Yep.
soon.
yeah. You're right. You're right.
Right.
So it's just crazy though. But it's interesting to see the change because I've been doing it long enough where I've seen.
Oh, yeah.
You go from the open cab to the to the no riding on the rear step to and it just progresses and progresses and progresses and all along the way. Oh, we never did it like that. Oh, we never did it like that. And I was like, yeah, we never did it like that. But was it safe? Was it the safest thing? Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
There's been a lot of unsafe things done. Some people got away with it. Some people didn't. Right.
yeah. No, I
But
think
we're trying to move forward with the safety thing, right? With everything.
Absolutely.
NFPA is trying to help everybody out. Hurting some things, but trying to definitely make it safer for the firemen.
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely it's still a dangerous profession,
Absolutely.
but whether you're a career or volunteer, it's the same danger. You go to a structure fire, it's the same danger. But they put in a lot of things that help. You hope to keep everybody safe and.
I mean, look at your roof cuts now, right? I mean, got to be careful about the roof cuts, trusses, things like that. OSB, things
yeah.
like that. Like the old days, you had plywood. You knew you had a little bit of a chance to go up there and make a cut.
Yeah.
Now you're going to go up there. You're going to take the express elevator to the basement,
Or
what?
you're going to go up there on a tower and you're not going to get off the thing and you're going to lean off to make your cuts. I mean that's.
We're doing a lot of that. We're making having customers with a lot of tethering themselves to the basket, so that they can reach out and make the cut. A lot safer.
Listen, at least if you're tethered to the basket, you're not going to end up in the
Drink-
fire
yeah,
itself.
No, absolutely.
So I mean, it'll be a heck of a ride.
We had one customer make their custom tether, so that if they did fall out, that they wouldn't swing out and slam right into the bucket. That they would have a little bit of a leeway, so they wouldn't hit the bucket if they did happen to fall out. Career department, which is a good idea.
Yeah, because
You never know.
you never know.
They're still cutting roofs, right? Unless it's got solar panels
Yeah, still got to cut them.
somewhere.
So you got to cut them. I mean, even no solar panels, it's great, but you still got to get there and cut them. Somebody's got to get up there and cut them because that's the only way you're going to relieve all the pressure.
Right. So I mean, solar panels. Then we end up having to do horizontal ventilation, right? We're doing our horizontal ventilation, not as effective. Trying to get the heat off the guys that are inside, clear up the smoke. It's
Yeah,
it's definitely changing. I mean, a lot of these big building fires may be caused by solar panels. Who knows? But we got to be careful with solar panels. It's changing the fire service again. Something else we have to
yeah.
think
They're
about.
high. They're high voltage. They're high voltage. You can't mess with them.
You know, it goes back to just like when we're doing ground ladders, right? Raising a ground ladder, what do we teach them? Look for power lines first. Look for power lines,
Yep.
right? You don't want to electrocute yourself.
Correct.
So to me, with solar panels, I really don't even want to put anybody near them. Solar panels involved, put the ladder truck away. Thank you.
It's not worth it.
We'll do ground ladders. Not, I'm not.
not
I
worth
wouldn't want to put one of my guys on the roof and
Too
have something
dangerous.
happen to them.
It's too dangerous.
You know, but again, changing the fire service,
Yeah, we just have to adapt, right? And
adapt and overcome. You know,
exactly.
manpower issues, technology, trying to make everything easier for us.
Yeah, sometimes making it easier though makes it. Sometimes you think you're taking a step forward, and you take 2 steps back before you can make that forward step in the fire service.
And then trying to get the people, you know, the manpower to stay.
Yeah, and adapt to the change.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, thank God we don't have CEUs. I mean, if we had CEUs, we'd probably lose even more people.
Well, and there's talk about it
Right.
in the state.
Let's talk about getting certified operators, too. You know, let's talk about physical fitness and all this. I can understand all that, but, you know, if they want to wipe out the volunteers totally.
That's going to wipe them out. That will wipe out the volunteer service.
And unfortunately, it's going to cripple a lot of towns, right? A lot of towns can't afford to have a paid fire
no,
service.
taxes in New Jersey are high
We're the
enough
highest.
already.
We're the highest, yeah.
You know.
So, I mean, you got to figure maybe, you know, I try and when I talk to people or I talk to some city people, city managers, things like that, and I tell them, you know, they say, oh, yeah, well, you know, manpower, what are you guys doing? And I said, well, towns and cities need to help out. They're going to need to either give tax breaks to the people. They're going to have to give them, pay them per call, you know.
Something.
I mean, low SAP alone is just not enough for some of the guys that are working multiple jobs.
Low SAP's tough anyhow because, I mean, you got a guy, you're going to tell him he's going to get this money. A lot of these young kids would rather have a supplement of cash now.
Absolutely, instead of waiting at the end of
Yeah.
the year, yeah.
You know, instead of waiting until the end
Or
of
waiting to the end of their career.
their career. Yeah. I mean, you know.
So we get paid per call. Luckily, we get $5 per call.
We get a quarterly stipend. It's better than it used to be, but it's still.
Right. I mean, we have to do something. So, you know, where that's going to go, I don't know. But some of these city people are going to have to wake up because you figure, you know, what you would pay like a police officer, right? Figure you're going to have to pay something similar for a fireman.
Yeah, and it's not just what you pay them. It's the health benefits.
Oh, absolutely.
The pension.
It's everything. It's all the
everything.
benefits.
It's all the benefits. I mean, that adds another 40, 50% back onto the price. So
Right.
they have to be prepared for it.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's ways to work around it. I mean, there's some options to get some per diem maybe, or
That's what I was saying. We need to do some per diems and use our guys for that.
yeah,
You know, maybe put on a driver, an officer, and 2 firemen, something like that.
yeah, and just pay them to be there for the day, and at least.
I said they could supplement. They could supplement doing fire inspections, maybe.
Well, that was the other thing, is bring on a couple full-time inspectors who are available to respond to calls as well.
Yep.
You know, and at least you got somebody responding, because I mean, you know, we use Active 911, you use I Am Responding, but you look at it and you're like, oh, nobody's checked off that they're responding yet. It's a little
scary.
nerve-wracking, you know.
It is scary.
So luckily I'm not, you know, I was chief a long time ago, so it's still concerning, but you know, the chief's definitely got some headaches now because, you know, you want to make sure that you cover every call. I mean, it's bad enough we're going mutual aid for ambulance calls in our town. You know, they're calling mutual aid, and you know, it's an ambulance call. Somebody's having a heart attack. You don't want to have to wait.
No,
You know,
absolutely.
The delay is too long. You know, maybe fire districts is the answer. Maybe making some fire districts and putting some per diems in place and working together. Something's going to happen because something's got to give at some point, right?
I said maybe countywide departments might end up being the way, right? You know, you may have to go count. I don't know. You know, we got Title 40 to worry about, you know, in the state,
Yeah.
how things are with that. So
Yeah.
I don't know, but, you know,
And if
fire.
if that changes, so you go to a county, that's going to change the whole demographic of your business.
Absolutely.
Mine too.
It's going to change everything. It's just amazing. You know, I don't know which way it goes. I mean, I talk to people about this all the time when we're at different meetings about how things are going to go. It's like, who knows? Who knows what the whole answer is?
I don't think the politicians know. I don't think the higher ups in the fire service know. I don't think, you know, I think they're coming to a crossroads that they don't know what to do yet. They're kind of a little bit.
No,
You
we
know.
need to get, I guess, maybe some different people in fire safety. I don't know to look at that. I don't know if they're looking at that. I don't know, but I could see that our calls are going up, our volume, and our manpower is going down.
And
It's the wrong way.
It's statewide. It's statewide.
It's everywhere.
It's the same issue. I mean, I don't. What's your call volume now, roughly?
I don't know. I think we're probably up to like 350, something like that. I mean, we've never been that high. It's
So we're running about 600, close to 600.
We got a small area.
And when I joined, it was about 100, 125 calls a year.
Yeah.
Now we're running about 600 calls a year. So you're doing 2.5, 3 times as many calls with about 50% less guys. You know, you're burning guys out. You guys are, guys get tired.
Guys are tired. Exactly. I was just going to say, guys get tired.
And it's, duty crews. You got to do something. You got to come up with something. Hey, listen, we're gonna have a duty crew. You're gonna get paid for your duty crew. Whatever it is, you got to come up with something. There's got to be ways to figure it out. But like you said, if they go to countywide fire departments, it's going to change the dynamic of your business, my business.
Absolutely.
It'll be completely different. But we'll navigate through it, I'm sure.
I'm sure we will. We've gotten through all these storms we've been going through. We got through COVID, then supply chain. So.
Yeah, and that was like a back-to-back COVID, the supply chain, and you guys kept working. Yeah, you guys kept working.
We kept
through it
working
just like we
through
did. I mean, you
had
had
no
no
choice. Fires are still going to happen. People still need vehicles.
Yep.
It's the country can't go to a standstill.
Yeah, no, and that was. I remember, like, you hear, all the restaurants are closed, all this is closed, but still, we were working. Guys were trying to figure out where they were going to get their lunch. They started having to bring food in because it changed everything. But we had to be working. We had vehicles that had to get out. I mean, you tell somebody you're not going to get your vehicle, it's an emergency vehicle. They need them. And then now our biggest supply chain issue has been vehicles themselves. I mean, you guys don't have that issue because you're not buying.
Yeah, sometimes on our commercial
side you have some issues, but we're buying commercial chassis or getting customers are bringing us commercial chassis, and sometimes that's the delay.
Yep.
So
you got to stockpile those. You got to stock whatever you can, right?
If you can get them.
If you can get them, right?
If you can get them. I mean, everybody's vying for the same, the same spec, and with the Tahoe now in a shutdown.
Right.
So they're retooling.
Yep.
For the 2025
25 models. Yep.
So now we're like, okay, well, hopefully, the factory, hopefully they're on track, because they always tell you we're shutting down in May or June, and we'll be retooling, and hopefully we expect to be running by September and rolling them out and starting to roll off the assembly line in December.
Right.
It never happens. Everything doesn't go smoothly. So that's been our biggest issue. I know for you guys, you don't sell as many commercial as you do
not as
custom,
many.
but it's always a fun thing to have to navigate.
We still run into some of that with axles. We get axles coming in. Sometimes the axles don't have brakes on them because they couldn't get the brake company couldn't get them the brakes, but we need the axles to keep them rolling down the line.
Yeah, transmissions,
yeah. Wiring harnesses. Sometimes we get the stuff in and it doesn't pass our quality check when it comes in, so they refuse it, right, and it goes back.
And now
they got to wait for it to get done again, right?
Yeah.
So what do? Do you pull the truck off? Is it far enough where we can keep it working? So the factories have those challenges every day.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're on the phone with the guys at the factory, and you're on with your representative all the time, right?
We are trying to make sure that we keep everything rolling, because my customers are calling me. What's the latest on my truck? What's the latest on my truck? I don't know. Let me check the production schedule. Oh, it says it's still on schedule. 2 minutes later, the phone could ring saying, "Hey, the rear axle came in and it was flagged by quality, so your truck's going to be delayed."
We're going to delay, or hey, we got extra parts in and we're going to move them up. You never want to tell people they've been moved up, though. You always wait on that call.
No, because it always burns you in the end.
It always. Hey, we moved up 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden something else happens, and they get pushed back 2 weeks, and it's like, it's
the whole schedule's a sliding schedule.
Oh, absolutely.
So I mean, especially when you're working with custom vehicles, and it's all done by hand, right? All manual labor. So.
Yep. I mean, it's just the way of the world nowadays, right? It's hard. Labor's tough to come by.
Absolutely.
So you hope for the best, but hopefully people get their trucks, in a fair amount of time. And it sounds like you guys got a good program in place, though. So which has been helpful.
To be working very good for us right now. So we adjust it as we need to. We're ordering more. Chris, scares me a couple times. Sometimes I tell him I don't want to know. Don't let me know just yet.
Just order it.
Do whatever you think we need to do, and I'll check back with you. And his gamble's been pretty good. I don't know if he's using one of those, 8 balls.
Yes.
Spin over.
Should I buy it? Yes or no? Oh no. Okay, I'll wait till tomorrow, and I'll see what the genie says tomorrow.
We're trying to stay down that path of productivity, making money and delivery. Keep it all in the same lane, right? You're trying, got to stay profitable. We got to make sure everybody's rolling. You don't want to get overextended.
Everybody's got to eat, right? You got to pay all your employees. You gotta.
Employees always get paid first, right?
That's what I always say. That's always your biggest stress, though, is making sure that there's the employees are paid.
Monday morning worries are payroll, right?
Yep.
So do what you got to do.
Yeah, no, I know the feeling. It's small business ownership, and it's sometimes it gets a little crazy, but
It definitely does. But
it sounds like you guys are doing well, and glad to hear that you guys are pumping out fire trucks, because I don't know how people wait 3 to 5 years, 3 to 4 years now for an apparatus.
some of these people are. I mean, some people are pre-ordering now, knowing that they're going to buy it, and sending us the purchase order, and then they're going
Just
to
to
get
get
their
the ball
money
rolling.
and they'll get their money together.
So what's the process now for you guys? I know with us when we just ordered our newest apparatus, really, like, there wasn't a lot of meetings. Like, years ago, we used to do a meeting with before COVID, meeting with the salesman, kind of sit down, and it was like a group of like 8 or 9 guys. Now we got it down to like a very small group of guys. We do everything, and I think you said you did that one. It was just over the phone, right, or a Zoom call? Is that?
Yeah, we've done it over phone call. I mean, just because the fast pace of once they said it was moved up, I was like,
Gotta
okay,
keep going.
Chris and I went down the list of who's in the market for one, right?
Yep.
Start making phone calls. And I happened to call the chief from Baskin Ridge, and John goes, yeah, we're going to be getting our money approved. I'm like,
Perfect.
okay, they moved to the top of the list. Chris, you have anybody else? Because we got this one and this one. I'm like, okay, so we'll shop it to them. Baskin Ridge is the lead, right? Berners Township.
Yep.
Okay, so we worked through it, and we're able to change it and make it to work for their needs.
So are you guys doing factory visits and all that stuff with
So we're still doing factory visits.
Oh, you still are? Okay.
Yeah,
Because I
we're
know
still-
some of the manufacturers were like, hey, listen, you can't even make any changes, so we're just going to do a Zoom. This is what you're going to get, and some
So
minor
we still have that
changes.
personal touch. We're not doing as many pre-builds. We have a pre-build room at Absolute now that I built. So
Nice.
we do the pre-builds up at our place. If somebody wants to go to the factory for a pre-build, we'll go. But our deal is when the truck's ordered, the pre-build already happened. We already know what we order. We don't want to
Yeah.
send that change order down to the factory, right?
Yeah, 'cause it's
just
gonna-
like building a house, you send a change order down, sends everybody into a tizzy,
It costs money, it
and
costs
it incurs
time.
a cost.
And it costs time.
So right, and so
Money
we're
and time.
trying to send down a clean order. So we're doing a pre-build ahead of time before we even get the purchase order, before we're even that final quote.
Gotcha.
So we're doing the quote, doing all that. We may fine tune it after. We may have the shelves and stuff to lay out, but the nuts and bolts are pretty
Yeah.
much hard and fast.
I
And if you want to go for a pre-build, we'll do a pre-build. We try not to.
Yeah. Well, COVID changed a lot of that, because there was always a pre-build at the factory, and then
Right.
Then once COVID hit and people weren't traveling, it was like pre-builds were done on Zoom or however they were doing them by phone, and now it's
So my own ladder truck for my fire company, right, was done in 2019.
okay.
I couldn't go with my own fire company to inspect our truck. They bought it from the factory. They were going to do the inspection with the factory guys, but they said, whoa, COVID, can't come to the factory.
Yeah.
Whoa, airlines, can't travel, right?
Yep.
So how are we going to do it? I'm like, we have a dealer in Georgia. So
That's close.
contacted our dealer in Georgia. He goes, yeah, I'm still going down there. They're still letting me in the factory, this and that. I said, I'm going to hire you to do my inspections. He did our inspections. He did the inspection around the truck for us, found out the things, because he inspects trucks the same way
Yep.
we do. Know what to expect for our customer, right? And then he did a video conference with the customer and us.
So it's a way around it.
And
It worked.
it worked out great. Somebody is still physically seeing it.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, from a production standpoint, right, most of the guys in the factory aren't firemen. They don't understand how everything works. They're building to a spec.
Yep.
I need somebody to go down and actually do it. So we do a final inspection on every vehicle, whether the customer goes or at least somebody from Absolute will go.
Gotcha.
Whether we're down there on another trip, we'll extend maybe another day or take a couple hours, or somebody inspect
to make sure that things- yeah.
just to make sure.
Yeah, but I know those the finals are still finals, but I know the pre-build and that whole middle, like when people are going to make changes, those kind of all got eliminated to
The mid inspections, yeah, we do. I have one customer that does a mid inspection. In fact, I'm going next week.
They're expensive too, because it's built into the price of the
It's
apparatus.
built into the price of the truck, but the problem is a mid inspection is tough to gauge while it's going down the line, right? We don't know where it's actually going to be. Those supply chain things I was
Yeah,
talking
that's
about.
right.
So if we, like this one had a bad axle, we were supposed to go 2 weeks ago. We canceled the trip. Then they just told me, oh, we're still running behind on this component. So we canceled it twice. So this is the third time we're going next week.
Is it a
But
volunteer or career?
Career.
So it's easier to get career. I mean, imagine you telling volunteer guys, oh, now you got to take off these days to go down there.
Right. But it's still a disruption for them because they got to get coverage and everything.
Yeah, absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
You know, but trying to hit that, it's like a moving target. Trying to hit a moving target, and it's like, so, you know, mid-inspections are pretty much going by the wayside. We call them, we call them in-process trips. You want to go down and see your truck, we'll go down so we can see if we catch anything. But we also have pictures and videos that we do of the truck as it's going down the line.
Yeah, I
So you
mean,
can
all
see
the
different
all the
things.
manufacturers nowadays are sending updated photos. Is it
Correct.
weekly or?
Normally weekly.
Yeah.
We have photos that are posted, but we also have our own photographer down at E1.
Okay.
He's a retired E1 guy. He comes down and take pictures every week for us. We give him a list of what we need. Jimmy goes in, takes the pictures. He loves it because he gets to see the people, right? Still like he's going. He's got something to do. He takes pictures for us. Great guy and helps us out.
And it helps out the customer because then they can see what they're looking at.
Chief goes, hey, I need to see what this dash looks like. The radio guy wants to see something. He'll go there, take the picture, and focus on that, the radio on the dash, right? So,
Better than having to hop in a plane and fly down there and take
Oh
a
my
couple
God.
pictures and fly back.
or relying on one of the sales guys to go down there, have somebody from the floor. You know, it's more of a,
Yeah.
it's just a peace of mind. But yeah, the factory trips are still happening. They are a little bit cumbersome sometimes trying to get the larger committees, right? You were talking about how you streamlined it down to 2 or 3 guys. Before you used to have 8 guys, right?
We had I think one committee we had like 11 guys. It was insane. And I think we did a pre at our firehouse, and then
Yep.
we did the midterm inspection. We sent half the committee, and then the second half we sent the other half of the committee, and the chief went on both. But it's hard to send different guys because we were down there. We looked at one thing. Then these guys went down and looked at something different. But nobody checked to see if the other thing was done correctly.
Absolutely.
You know. So yeah, they become behemoths, right? You want to include as many people as you can. Oh, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. He's knowledgeable. And so it's like a perk for everybody to be on the committee. But it's also, how big do you want to make these committees? And that's
Problem is it becomes a logistics thing too, trying to get everybody's schedule, right? Especially in a volunteer organization, you got 5 guys, right? So you get 5 guys plus myself, big vehicle, right? Trying to align everybody's schedule. It gets tough, and then you're like, oh well, I can't go this Wednesday, but I can go on that Friday or I can go on that Thursday, and it's like, Chief, you got to make a decision who's going to go, hard, fast dates, and that's it. Because we can't keep this dancing around because we got to get airfare, we got to get hotel rooms, we got to get all this stuff done, right?
so. When I was chief, I had to do our ladder truck. It was our first ladder truck in the department, and I just remember it was like, listen, these are the dates. These are the dates we're going. You guys are on the committee. If you can go, you can go. If you can't, you can't. You got to let me know. And it's
Right.
just like, you don't want to be that person, but we got to get there and inspect this thing.
Absolutely.
It's not going to sit there. They're not going to wait an extra 4 weeks to deliver this thing until everybody can get their schedules aligned. And what do firemen want? They want it.
Right, they want the truck.
They want the truck. They don't want to wait any longer
And the
than they have
factory
to.
wants to get paid for it. They want it out.
Of course.
They got another one coming behind it,
Yeah.
pushing it out the door.
Yeah, there's
So-
no room to store them, and the dealer wants to get it delivered so they
So you
get
get
paid.
paid, right. So
Everybody's got everybody's on a schedule, so
Yeah, you always get that one guy. I really want to go, but I can't go that week. Oh, well, sorry, I guess you're off the list. Whatever.
send somebody else or
We're trying to
you go with
accommodate
3
them.
instead. Yeah,
Try and accommodate them the best you can because you really don't want to single anybody out. Everybody put hard work into it, right? But I try and tell the chiefs up front. Try and get your guys who's going on the trips up front. That are guys that are pretty loose with their jobs that can get time off almost any time.
yeah. So they can have very flexible scheduling.
And we try and get a month. Say here, this month, tell your employer, this month you're going to be going.
Yeah, I'll let my boss know.
Let your boss know.
I'll let my boss know.
Okay.
So I'm actually going to Florida soon. Going to Tampa in September.
Okay.
Down in are you part of Fire Apparatus Manufacturers or no?
Yeah.
FAMA. I'm going to the conference this year, so
So we're in FEMSA. Sorry.
Oh, you're in FEMSA?
I think it might. I don't know if it's.
Yeah, they're the same.
Is it the same?
They have the same meeting in that fall meeting, I think, because
I saw that.
Yeah,
You're going to that?
Yeah, I'm gonna go down. I think I'm gonna take Guy down. They got some marketing stuff going on down there too. I was looking at the schedule. So.
Interesting. I'll have to take a look at it.
So
I didn't look at it.
It's the end of
this year.
September, so it's after Wildwood, so we'll see. So
I'll take a look.
looking forward to seeing you in Wildwood. You have that shirt on in Wildwood?
It will be on Saturday. So Saturday shirt.
That's the Saturday shirt. Okay. What's the Sunday shirt?
No, it's the Friday shirt. I don't know what the Friday shirt is yet.
The Sunday shirt's the
Sunday
T-shirt
shirt
going
would be
home.
the T-shirt sitting
The
on the
T-shirt
boat.
going on the boat. Yeah, that's right.
T-shirt on the boat. Yeah.
Perfect. I gotta get on that boat. I gotta come visit you. I know you say just call me, and I'm busy too, so I
Yeah,
get
we're
it.
between here and down there, and
Yeah.
kids at games and this and.
Yeah, baseball's done. My son finished up the other night, so
Okay, well that's good. One thing off the list.
one more thing off the list. So, but
Yep.
I appreciate your time as
problem.
always. I know you guys are busy, but again, Tony from Absolute Fire Protection. If you need anything from for E1, reach out to Tony. And thanks for watching.
Thanks for having me.